The birds have stopped singing, and the morning sky is not blue, but a sickly bruised purple. In the middle of July in New England, farmers walk out into their fields only to find their young corn stalks frozen solid, snapping like glass under the weight of an overnight blizzard. Thousands of miles away in Europe, the rain does not stop, falling in relentless gray sheets for weeks until the rivers burst their banks and wash away entire villages. This is a world where the seasons have broken. This is the year the sun died. The concept of a volcanic winter is one of the most chilling reminders of Earth's raw power. While most people associate volcanic eruptions with flowing red lava and immediate local destruction, the true danger often lies in what rises into the sky. When a massive stratovolcano erupts, it ejects millions of tons of ash and sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. Unlike lower-level clouds that rain out quickly, these particles reach heights where they linger for years, creating a global veil that acts like a giant mirror. This veil reflects incoming sunlight back into space, effectively dimming the sun and plunging the planet into a sudden, artificial winter. The most documented instance of this phenomenon occurred following the 1815 eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia. It was the largest volcanic eruption in recorded human history, yet its most devastating effects were felt not in the heat of the blast, but in the shivering cold of the years that followed. The mechanism of a volcanic winter is a complex chain reaction of atmospheric chemistry. As the sulfur dioxide gas reaches the upper atmosphere, it reacts with water vapor to form sulfuric acid aerosols. These microscopic droplets are incredibly effective at scattering solar radiation. As the sun's energy is blocked, the thermal balance of the Earth shifts violently. In 1816, the global temperature dropped by nearly 1 degree Celsius, a number that sounds small but translates to catastrophic local weather patterns. In the northern hemisphere, the climate became unrecognizable. The spring of 1816 never warmed up. Frost remained on the ground well into June. In July and August, lake ice was reported in parts of Pennsylvania. The sky was described as having a permanent haze, a dry fog that reddened the sun but provided no warmth. The human cost was staggering. Because the sun could not penetrate the volcanic veil, the growing seasons were cut short or eliminated entirely. Crops failed across North America, Europe, and Asia. This led to the last great subsistence crisis in the Western world. Families were forced to slaughter their livestock because there was no grain to feed them, and then they were forced to wander the countryside in search of food. In Ireland, the cold and damp conditions triggered an epidemic of typhus. In China, the monsoon season was disrupted, leading to massive floods that destroyed the harvest in the Yunnan province. Society began to fray at the edges. Bread riots broke out in France and England. In the United States, the desperation of New England farmers triggered one of the first major westward migrations, as families abandoned their frozen, rocky soil in hopes of finding a warmer climate in the Ohio Valley. This period proved that even a slight shift in the global thermostat could bring civilization to its knees. However, the darkness of the volcanic winter also sparked a strange era of human creativity. Stuck indoors during the miserable, cold summer of 1816 in Switzerland, a group of writers, including Mary Shelley, held a contest to see who could write the scariest story. The gloomy, apocalyptic atmosphere outside her window inspired her to write Frankenstein. The red-tinted, hazy skies of the era are also believed to have influenced the vivid, dramatic landscapes painted by artists like J.M.W. Turner. As the years passed, the sulfur aerosols eventually settled out of the atmosphere and the sun slowly regained its strength. The Earth warmed, the ice retreated to the poles, and the seasons returned to their usual rhythm. But the memory of the year without a summer remains a haunting warning. Today, scientists monitor volcanoes like Yellowstone and Toba with intense scrutiny. We live in an era of advanced technology, yet we remain just as dependent on the sun and stable temperatures as the farmers of 1816. a modern volcanic winter would collide with a global population of 8 billion people, potentially disrupting global food chains and energy grids on a scale that would dwarf the tragedies of the 19th century. The story of the volcanic winter is a reminder that we live on a restless planet, and our golden summers are a gift provided by a very delicate atmospheric balance. The silence of a volcanic winter is a unique kind of terror. It is not the roar of an explosion, but the quiet, persistent absence of warmth. It serves as a testament to the fact that the Earth is a single, interconnected system. An event on a remote island in the Pacific can dictate the survival of a family in the mountains of Europe. As we look at the sun today, it is easy to take its warmth for granted, but history shows us that the sky can turn gray at any moment, and the summer we expect may never arrive. We are guests on a world that has its own cycles, and sometimes those cycles involve a long, cold sleep under a veil of ash.